Good evening. You're listening to WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland, and my guest is Chris Spedding and the Necessaries.
Hello, this is Chris Spedding, and these are the Necessaries. Go on, Ed Tomney.
Hi, I'm Ed Necessary.
With a mouthful of, mouthful of whatever it was he's just eaten.
Right.
Yeah. I'm Jesse Chamberlain, the Necessaries.
Ernie Necessary Brooks.
Ernie Necessary Brooks. Chris, you just recently got involved with this band?
That's right, yeah, the band was a going concern for about 2 years in New York, and I joined them about 5 months ago when they had a personnel change, and we've just been playing around, getting people's reaction, you know, having fun.
What happened with Robert Gordon?
Well, he's still going strong. I'm going to be doing something on his new album, but I don't think we'll be touring live, you know, doing anything live, but there's no reason why I shouldn't play on his album. I think he's doing one of my songs.
You've played with quite a few people, done a lot of session work, and just recently, I guess not too long ago, you did your last solo album. Do you have any comment about it?
Well, not apart from that, it might actually be my last solo album. There's a lot, I don't know. No, I haven't really, no, because it's not being released over here. It's all on import. And also, as a matter of policy with the Necessaries, I've not been billing my name separately, and I haven't been doing any of the numbers from those albums because, well, there's not much point in me going out here and promoting product that you can't buy in the shops, for one thing, and the other thing is that this also gives me an opportunity to start something new and be a member of a band. And at the moment, the Necessaries are we're dividing the material halfway between my new songs, not any of my old songs, but my new songs, and Ed Tomney's songs. And, well, I seem to have lost my way here a bit. What was the question again?
What were some of your early influences?
Money, sex, drugs.
Ian Dury?
Ian Dury, yeah.
What about Frankie Miller? You played on the album with Full House, did a lot of guitar work, but that was kind of like an unknown masked sideman. What's the story with that?
Oh, well, yeah, I found out later that I was supposed to have, it was a group, Full House, not just session guys. Well, yeah, there's a lot of that goes down when it's a session world, but I didn't think it would happen with Frankie Miller. Yeah, you just get asked to do various bits, you know. But at least I got a bit of a credit on that. You don't usually, when you do that sort of thing. You come in and fill in for somebody and your name's not on it.
Oh, your name's all over the record.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is a different cover. I see. On the English version, it just mentioned all these guys' names, which is a group, and guest artist, Chris Spedding, without saying what I was on. And that's a lot more, yes, well, what I just said then doesn't apply to it in this case, in the American version, which is totally different.
This is WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland. My guest is Chris Spedding. You also work with John Keel.
Yes?
Doing a lot of stuff with him. And Eno, how did you get involved with him?
Well, you just get called up, phone call. As I get involved with him. What else can you say, really?
Just said, come on down?
Yeah.
The group Sharks was a band that you were in. Would you like to tell us a little bit about them? I know Andy Fraser from Free was in that group.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's think. This is all about me, isn't it?
Yeah, well, take your time, man.
Oh, what about the rest of the guys?
We'll get all the guys.
Free. No, Sharks, that's right, yeah. I wasn't in Free, I was in Sharks. Right, well, what can I say about that? Well, we were together for about 18 months, and then gradually fell apart. We played in Washington, actually, supporting Mountain at the Georgetown University, that I remember, because it was the same building that there was a shot of in The Exorcist, that sort of filmmaking type shot. And The Exorcist was out at that time. That's a little bit of trivia there for you.
Well,
about the Sharks, I mean...
What about them Sharks?
I don't know, I can't remember.
well, World Park Junkies was one of my favorite songs on it. Why don't we listen to that, okay?
Okay.
Summer season's all the more reason to treat your family, friends, and yourself to the freshness of Maryland seafood. For some of the best recipes around, get a copy of the Maryland Seafood Cookbook, available through WHFS. Send $4.95, including mailing and handling costs, to WHFS, 4853 Cordell Avenue, Bethesda, Maryland, 20014. Whether it's halibut on a hibachi, mullers on a mussel, red snapper snappin', steamed crabs, or lobsters dipped in butter, enjoy the best Maryland has to give in the Maryland Seafood Cookbook, available through WHFS.
Visited Tehran have returned to the U.S. Art Blazer reports from New York.
The first 3 of 10 Americans who participated in the Crimes of America conference in Iran have arrived back in New York. Attorney Lennox Hines says U.S. Customs officials gave them what he feels was more than a routine examination.
They inquired with respect to our travel and then itemized all items that we brought with us from Iran and confiscated those materials, which included...
Evening Friday, but one refugee says the Cuban government may be holding back 100 boats for a final surge. Over 111,000 refugees have arrived in Florida so far. President Carter's dime-a-gallon gasoline fee has been laid to rest on Capitol Hill and in court. Following the example set by the House Thursday night, the Senate voted 68-10 to override the president's veto of a resolution killing the fee. But in a little over a week, gasoline prices may start going up about 1.25 cents a gallon anyway. The Energy Department has boosted the wholesale and retail margins to allow for inflation. From the World Desk of United Press International, I'm Carol Hebb.
We're back. This is WHFS, Bethesda, Maryland, at 102.3 FM. We're talking to Chris Spedding and the Necessaries. Chris, I'd like to ask you about your album, Hurt, the song Lone Rider, right?
Yeah.
It's very deep, man.
Well, for those of you that might not have scrutinized the back of the album cover, the young lady that's singing the Lone Riders is in fact our own Chrissy Hines of the Pretenders, who actually helped me quite a bit with inspiration for the lyrics on that, which is another little bit of trivia. In fact, she's singing all the female backing vocals throughout that album.
Do you own a scooter?
Scooter, no.
No. Because from listening to that song, you would think that...
Yeah, well, that's where Chrissy came in, because she's really into bikes and everything, and I was saying, I don't want to write an English bike song, I want all these American bikers' phrases, and she was sort of telling me of some of these phrases, and I was scribbling them all down, and then I gradually put the lyric together, and then she came in and did the backing vocal thing on it later. This is before the Pretenders. She was just hanging out, trying to get something together, and failing, because she was trying for years to get something together before the Pretenders. I mean, people think the Pretenders are just an overnight success, but I've known that chick for 6 years, and it's only the last few years, that last sort of year even, that it really clicked for her, So she was really trying hard all that time.
Got brass in pocket.
You also do a great version of Garland Jeffries' Wild in the Streets.
Mm.
You must like him.
Actually, I never heard him do it before. I heard some other band do it really badly, and I thought I was really shocked that it was such a bad version of a good song that I thought I'd do it. And I've only heard Garland's version a couple of times, and that's since I did my version. I've met Garland since. I've never heard any other of his material or songs. People have taken it upon themselves to play me his version when they found out I didn't. So I can't say that I'm that familiar with Garland's music.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Garland quite well.
You also do Bo Diddley's song, Roadrunner. You must have roots with the blues.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to do Jonathan Richman's Roadrunner, but Chris Thomas said, no, let's do Bo Diddley's instead, so it was just as casual as that. He just said, all right, let's do that one instead. We might have done Junior Walker's, who cares?
Do them all.
It's just that we'd already printed the titles on the, so we had to do somebody's Roadrunner.
You're listening to WHFS. We're talking to Chris Spedding and the Necessaries. Do you guys have future plans, I mean, for making a record?
Well, yeah, we're just going to play it by ear. Why don't you ask the guys? I've been on enough, I think. Ask the guys.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what we're doing now is just touring and playing and trying to create some excitement and testing out the songs and the act and fishing. And we've been doing some rough cuts in the studio by ourselves. But right now we have a lot of work ahead of us. We have to go back out to the Midwest, Cleveland and Detroit, and back up to Canada for a while. So it's actually a matter of timing for both them and us.
Chris had told me you all had been together for about 18 months.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, we were, we had a different configuration then, and we played around New York, basically. Did a little bit of touring by ourselves, but we were based in Manhattan. And there just came a day when there was a personnel change, and we had known each other, and things just sort of fell into place. We just started rehearsing, and we decided to go out and try it out. And the rest is all history.
Have you played out on the West Coast?
No, haven't gotten out there yet. No, just basically like the Northeast and a little bit of Canada.
But you're being received well.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. I had the pleasure of seeing you last night. I thought you were very good.
Oh, thanks.
And you've got quite a professional playing with you.
Yeah, what a jolly crew here.
Yeah. Any other bands that you guys were in previous to forming the Necessaries?
I used to be with Modern Lovers a long time ago. On that first album, you might know the one with the heart on the cover. So Jonathan Richman's an old compatriot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think he's starting to tour around again as he's coming to New York. I don't know if he'll come down here.
I think he did the Cellar Door.
Yeah, I think he's doing like the folk venues. But he's always a pleasure, so you should go see him if he comes back. And then I played down here. I think the last time I was here, I was with a guy named Elliot Murphy. In fact, we did the Cellar Door, I think, a couple years ago. It was weird because I remember that place, Desperados, was totally a country club. And I came and said, oh, that's where we're playing? I couldn't imagine they were actually having, rock and roll band in there. So things change.
That's for sure. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Oh, pleasure.
And I hope maybe you guys will come up to the radio station some night when you have time.
I hope one day we're going to have a record for you to play.
Right.
Well, you can come up and play records. We have no format. Play whatever you want. And I really appreciate it. Where do you go from here?
Baltimore, and then to Cherry Hill, and then to Asbury Park.
You know anything about the Stones album, why it hasn't come out?
No, I don't know anything about no Stones album, honest. Go.
Did you ever meet Jimi Hendrix?
No.
No?
Didn't.
Do you know where Noel Redding or Mitch Mitchell are?
Give up.
No, I'm just serious.
No,
I'd go back to him. No?
I don't know.
Because someone said that they locked the guy up and put him in a mental hospital.
Oh, no Redding?
Mitch.
Mitch?
Yeah.
No, he was in,
I
I
thought
saw
he was
him in
in
New York
town.
last year.
Yeah.
Somebody told me he was in town.
Because they put out, the Hendrix, the 1969 jams or whatever.
Oh, they just
It's
released
in
a
it.
new thing, right?
Yeah, it's in here.
And he went berserk.
Yeah.
It's time to hear it.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know where he is. You see this thing? They keep doing
That might
it.
happen to me one day. I have to put out some of my old stuff. They might have to lock me up.
Yeah, it's true.
I know I almost feel.
Very true. But that's got some real good stuff.
Oh,
on it.
well, the Billy Cox and
Yeah, they had good reviews.
Billy
in
Cox is and Buddy Miles. That's another story altogether.
Is it?
I really preferred them.
Did
Whoops.
you? Whoops.
Off the air.